through your piece, right, it's a lot about how I think a lot of businesses are balking at the thought of like raising minimum wage. And here's my thing. We work for people ourselves, you know, we don't control what we're paid. I thought most people, it's a bit weird that they don't like minimum wage because in my thoughts, if you have a good high minimum wage, then our wages move up. Or am I completely wrong in thinking that way?
I think it's not wrong to say that, but I mean on another hand, you know, higher wages has to come with productivity as well.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense if you keep raising the minimum wage or wages for that matter when there's no productivity or there's no productivity increase.
Okay.
So that I think that's the main grouse that the employees are having. Also at the same time, if wages increase, like if our wages increase, we have to be willing to be to pay. We have to be prepared to pay, you know, extra for our services and our products. Are we willing to pay more?
Okay, fine. Okay, you have a point there. So looking at it from the business guy's point of view, he's saying that it's definitely eating into profits if you actually raise the minimum wage. And his argument really is that we need more foreign workers. But I thought we're trying to wean ourselves off this like foreign worker diet, but it's inevitable, right?
I don't think he's trying to say that we need more foreign workers. It's just that it's peculiar because we have so many foreign workers, yet the industry finds it difficult to find people to actually, you know, take on jobs that they have. So without people doing the jobs, they can't actually, you know, progress. They can't have more production lines. They can't increase their profits. Yeah, so they're stuck.
Okay, and because of that, they also say that, you know, there is that argument, or I think Heng Gui actually, who you talked to, actually said that the minimum wage only benefits mostly foreign workers. Is that really true? Because there are people, you know, although I know we are famous talking about how Malaysians don't want to take, like, you know, some of the dirtier jobs, there are people who still work in that field. Yeah. So is it eternally just the foreign workers who benefit if if minimum wage goes up?
Generally, 90% of them benefits, the foreign workers, 90% of foreign workers benefit from this minimum wage.
Okay.
Or in other words, the minimum wage only benefits 90% of the foreign worker population. Yeah, that's true, but also we have to remember that there are still poor Malaysians who will need this minimum wage to help to push their wages up as well.
All right. And then the argument, of course, that they give is that you cannot just keep raising wages. The thing that they're beating their drum for, to be fair to him, the guy you spoke to, was that they think that the government should have a holistic view on it. Right. But what does that even mean? You know, they've been trying to do this for like years. I mean, what does that even entail?
I think talking about holistic view is not just something that the businesses are hoping for. Economists also have mentioned it many times that, you know, you can't just look at labour policy issues based on wages alone. You know, you have to have everything, a comprehensive view of it. So you have to control your number of foreign workers as well. You have to encourage locals to take on jobs. You have to, you know, spur automation. So it's a whole range of things. It shouldn't be just confined to minimum wage, increasing minimum wage only.
Okay. All right, which is what is a big part of the manifesto that the new government has talked about, right? Because in their manifesto, it hasn't been implemented yet, they are saying that they want to raise minimum wage, but they will bear half the burden. I mean, it's a nice promise, but shouldn't they be looking at doing other things rather than just the wage? Because to be fair, how long can we afford to pay this, given all that's come out?
Yeah, so I mean, this is still a big question mark. We don't know how great a quantum the minimum wage increase will be. But if they do bear half the cost, of course businesses will be happy, right? Because somebody's sharing their burden. But I mean, from an economic standpoint, you know, you have to question whether that additional billions, whether you know, is how will it come about? Where will the money come about? Is it just a temporary measure? There's so many things about it that's not you know, laid out yet. So as of now, we really don't know. Yeah.
Oh, but the final thing that I suppose came through when I read this was, why are we still banging on about automation? And I'm not saying that because we've done it so much, but why are we still harping on something that should have been done?
Well, because a lot of employers, a lot of companies are still not there yet, especially the SMEs, because the cost is high. It takes a lot of capital. When they don't see an ROI, you know, it's difficult for employers to put money into automation. But they know it's that direction to go. So, they have some have suggested that maybe, the government can look at giving them grants or low interest rate loans or something to more than just tax incentives to spur them to automate their factories more so that they need less foreign workers.
For more on the stories, pick up a copy of The Edge Weekly at all good newsstands.